What's up guys, it's your boy Legend and I'm back with another video. What if Naruto was the strongest Hashira part 7? If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. The like goal for the video is going to be 6 likes, but if we could get 10, that would be really nice. But without further ado, let's just get into this intro so we can start this what if. The heavy wooden door creaked open as Tanjiro stepped into the afternoon light, his body bruised and his blade sticky with demon blood. Behind him, the ominous structure groaned in protest. The disjointed interior finally stilled now that its demonic masters were slain. The building had been a nightmare. Every time one of the demons struck their taiko drums, the rooms twisted, floors flipped, and walls turned. An endless, disorientating maze of blood and shadows. But it was over now, or so Tanjiro thought. He barely had time to breathe before his eyes caught the figure of Zenitsu, trembling and hunched over something just outside the courtyard. The boy's yellow Yuri was torn, his body curled defensively over a box, the very same one that held Nezuko. Another slayer towered above him, his face hidden behind a wild boar mask, muscular and shirtless. The boar-masked boy reared his leg back and kicked Zenitsu hard in the ribs. "Get out of the way!" the masked demon slayer growled. "I can smell a demon in that box!" Zenitsu coughed violently, blood spraying from his mouth as he held tighter to the box. I won't let you! I won't let you! She's not like the others!" Something inside Tanjiro snapped. In a flash, he dashed forward, closing the distance between them with terrifying speed. He didn't shout a warning. He didn't hesitate. His fist collided with the boar-masked slayer's abdomen with such force that the sound echoed like thunder through the courtyard. A crack followed, the unmistakable sound of bone shattering. The masked slayer went flying, skidding across the dirt path and tumbling to a stop several meters away. Tanjiro stood over Zenitsu, his breathing heavy, fist trembling. "Don't touch my sister!" he barked. His voice was a growl of fury and protective instinct. Zenitsu looked up at him with wide, grateful eyes. "Tanjiro!" But Tanjiro wasn't listening anymore. His gaze was fixed on the slayer he had just struck, waiting to see if he'd get up and try again. Far from the chaos, back at the Butterfly Mansion, Naruto stood in the presence of Kagaya, the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps. The room was quiet, lit only by soft candlelight and a filtered glow of the afternoon sun bleeding through the paper walls. "You've done well, Naruto," Kagaya said, his voice soft and ethereal. "However, I must ask more of you." Naruto stood silently, arms crossed, waiting. "Multiple people have gone missing," Kagaya continued, his pale eyes glimmering with concern, "near the area where you last encountered the demon that fed off of your nature energy. I fear that something unnatural is taking root there." Naruto gave a small nod, the corner of his mouth tightening. "I'll take care of it." He turned on his heel. The meeting concluded, but not before he noticed movement at the door. Shinobu Kocho stood there, her eyes calm but unreadable. "You have another mission?" she asked. Naruto didn't break stride as he walked past her. "You already know the answer to that, so why ask?" She followed him down the corridor. "I'm coming with you." He paused briefly at his room, collecting his Nichiren blade and sliding a pouch of supplies over his shoulder. He didn't respond, but he didn't argue either. He didn't want her to go, but he knew he wasn't going to change her mind. 3 hours later, they were deep within the fog-covered forest east of Hanamori Pass. The air had a sickly, sweet smell, tinged with rotting foliage and stagnant energy. The fog pressed around them like a second skin, and even the sunlight seemed afraid to break through the canopy. Shinobu kept glancing at Naruto, her mouth opening several times, only to shut again. She wanted to speak, to revisit the conversation they had days ago, but the tension between them clung thicker than the mist. Naruto had not looked at her once. Finally, he stopped walking and turned sharply into a thicket. "This way," he said, the first words he'd spoken since they left the mansion. Shinobu followed without a word. "This place has gotten a bit more eerie since the last time I was here," Naruto murmured, eyes scanning the trees. Shinobu said nothing, her senses alert. Something was wrong. The trees were unnaturally still. The fog grew denser with every step, curling around their ankles like claws. And then something warm splattered onto her Haori. She looked down. Blood. Her eyes rose slowly to the canopy above. Bodies. Dozens of corpses dangled from the branches, suspended by vines that wrapped around their necks, torsos, and even mouths. Some had vines growing from them, growing through them, eyes glassy with death. Others were fresher, their skin still holding a faint trace of color. Naruto stepped beside her and immediately drew his blade. A cluster of thick vines lunged from the mist toward Shinobu, but he was faster. With a sharp hiss of steel, he slashed through 3 of them with 3 clean strokes. "What the fuck is this?" he muttered, eyes wide with disbelief. The trees moved, not in the way wind stirs branches, but like animals, predators. Dozens of vines whipped toward them from all directions. Naruto's blade danced, severing tendrils before they could entangle either of them. "This can't be possible," he growled, cutting down another barrage. "Did you figure out what's happening?" Shinobu called, flipping gracefully over a writhing vine. Naruto panted, "My guess is the trees absorbed the demon's essence. When I bound it here, the forest must have taken it in." Shinobu's eyes flared. "You idiot! How are we supposed to fix this now?" "Follow me," he shouted, leaping through the brush. She followed, dodging vines and roots that tried to snag her heels. They reached in moments later. A massive crater, still scorched around the edges. Naruto dropped to one knee and pointed. "This is the binding site. The demon's energy is still rooted here. If we destroy the source, then the forest dies with it," Shinobu finished. More vines surged from the trees, 10, no, 15, lashing out at once. "Do it now!" Naruto shouted. Shinobu lunged, her blade gleaming. With a single thrust, she pierced the exact center of the crater. The blade buried deep into the corrupted energy, the corrupted earth. A shriek echoed throughout the forest, an inhumane wail of death and decay. The vines convulsed violently, flailing in every direction before shriveling to the ground like dying serpents. The fog began to lift, and the bodies above fell limp, still, released. Naruto rose to his feet slowly, breathing hard. "Honestly, it's a good thing you came. I wouldn't have been able to slice that deep down into that without damaging my blade." Shinobu gave him a tired smile. This one, at last, real. The two walked in silence side by side through the clearing forest, back toward the butterfly mansion together. By the time they returned, the sun had finally dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the stone steps of the butterfly mansion. Just before stepping inside, however, Naruto paused. Shinobu turned to him, surprised by his sudden stop. "Your smile is beautiful," he said quietly, eyes soft, for the first time in days when it's real. Then he turned and walked into the mansion, leaving Shinobu frozen on the step, a faint blush rising to her cheeks. Did Naruto-kun just say your smile is beautiful? Mitsuri's voice chirped suddenly beside her, startling her. The love Hashira practically bounced in place. I think he likes you. Shinobu didn't respond. She merely brushed past Mitsuri and stepped into the mansion, but her heart wouldn't stop racing. Naruto, meanwhile, had already made his way to his room. He stripped off his jacket and laid down on his bed and stared at the ceiling. 5 minutes later, sleep claimed him. He opened his eyes to the soft glow of twilight. The air felt thick and dreamlike. Trees swayed in a non-existent wind, and fireflies hovered in the distance. And there she was. Her smile is beautiful indeed, said Yuri, standing with her arms folded, a warm glow radiating off of her figure. Naruto's eyes widened. You're not real. This is just a dream. Yuri stepped forward and gently took his hands. This may be a dream, but you're dreaming of me for a reason. So listen, love, please. Naruto sighed and looked away. I don't want to do this again. Yuri smirked playfully. You really do have a linear taste in women. What? And that pink-haired girl's ass is the same shape and size as mine. Chest is maybe a cup size bigger too. Naruto blinked. What are you getting at? She squeezed his hands. You have to let me go. You're projecting me onto everyone around you. Shinobu, Mitsuri, anyone who reminds you of me. You won't be happy if you keep doing that. He opened his mouth to speak, but she put a finger up to his lips. Let me finish. You don't have to forget me. Just let me go. You'll be so much happier. And then, maybe you can get along with Bug Girl and Pink Hair Girl as well. Naruto hesitated. Then, he nodded slowly. Fine. She smiled, and then faded like mist into the wind. Naruto woke with a start, but something was different. The grief that usually clenched his chest had loosened. He felt lighter, alive. He got dressed and stepped into the hallway, nearly bumping into Amane, Kagaya's wife. With a smooth spin, he avoided the collision and gave a courteous nod. Excuse me, Amane-chan. She turned to watch him walk off toward the training grounds, a rare brightness to his steps. He seems to be in a good mood today, she murmured. Naruto retrieved a wooden practice sword from the racks. For 6 hours straight, he meditated, moved, and experimented, drawing on his sage mode and breathing control. By the end, he had formed 2 new techniques: nature breathing, 4th form, verdant pulse. A wide circular slash performed mid-spin, gathering nature energy into the blade's edge. The strike creates a wave of compressed wind that explodes upon impact, useful against multiple enemies. And nature breathing, 5th form, blooming mirage, a feint technique that channels breath so subtly that the user appears to vanish for a split second, only to reappear behind the enemy with a slashing strike empowered by silent steps and slowed heartbeat. As he finished his final form, drenched in sweat, his white muscle shirt clung tightly to his body, defining the shape and sharp cut of his abs and his shoulders. From behind the training fence, Mitsuri watched silently, eyes wide, not from the forms, but from the man performing him. Her cheeks flushed pink, and their heart skipped a beat. But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Remember, the like goal for the video is going to be 6 likes. But like I said, it would be nice if I could get 10. But without further ado, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed, y'all.